Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is a woman being attacked, assaulted, by a random individual. Now, I don't know what the ethnicity of this person is. I don't think it really truly matters, but it kind of looks like he might be a Muslim. And if he is a Muslim, then it's going to come down to showing of on how bad and how radical things are going to get. But that at this point in time doesn't truly matter for right now. But we're going to go over and talk about this, exactly what's been going on here. Because we have this here from the New York Post saying NYU student shoved to the ground in shocking random attack on way to class. Now, it says an NYU student was thrown to the ground while walking to class in Lower Manhattan on Monday morning with the shocking and unprovoked attack caught on surveillance video. Big Apple co-ed Amelia Lewis said she was walking down Broadway shortly before 9:30 a.m. on Monday when a violent vagrant came up behind her and attacked her without warning. As I'm walking with my headphones on listening to music, I feel something slap me so hard, like literally on my ass, Lewis 20 said following the assault. So this woman was attacked on the ass or the butt, whatever you want to call it here. And that is just kind of what's been going on. The chilling clip shows the thug creeping up behind Lewis before the attack and fleeing while she lay on the ground as shocked bystanders that came to aid her. A person of interest in the frightening assault is in custody and facing charges of forcible touching, among other charges, sources said. Meanwhile, the traumatized student issued a warning. And this is what she has to say here about all this stuff as well. So here's the problem I have with this. We're going to view this video, right? We're going to view the video that she is talking about, the one she got assaulted on, and then her actual response to the video and question here with what she's been talking about. And then we're going to go about more on how you ladies kind of did this yourselves. So let's go.
The right side of Broadway, and then you can see that he literally followed me across the street, and that's him right there, and he literally targets me and approaches me and does this.
Yeah. So that is what this guy did to her, right? And this is what she has to say about this whole situation. So here we go.
My assault, and I'm gonna say it's definitely violent. Thank you so much, my best friend Summer, for literally going to the liquor store where it happened in front of and getting the surveillance footage of the assault. I'm shocked I even got this. I have sent it to NYU security, and they're forwarding it to the police, and it actually is the guy that has been assaulting many girls around campus right now. He is a tall white male with long brunette hair and a long brunette beard, and is wearing gray sweatpants and a big black puffer jacket and a blue towel around his neck. So if you see him, please call 911 and report him to the police, because they are looking for him, because he has done this to so many girls, and this is disgusting.
So here's the problem that I have with this. So, Amelia, I don't know who you really are. You're just saying assaulted. You don't deserve to get assaulted. But here's the thing. For that person you probably and most likely voted for, Zoran Madamni, that person. Well, I hate to break it to you, lady, but yeah, he doesn't gonna go for the police. So when you're saying you're gonna go for the police, what police? You already had it to where the police essentially resigned from New York because after Mandani got in. So you're already being in big, huge trouble there. Not to mention that Mandani also said that he was going to be the one to try to remove policing and put in social workers for policing. So I don't know what is going to work here. You have a DA that actively does not charge people for crimes, and rather would charge people for specifically committing crimes for defending yourself. So I don't know what else to tell you, but there is no police in New York City because you most likely, an individual, voted for this.
So I'm just gonna say trigger warning, because it's honestly a really hard watch. For me, just because it happened to me, but
again, you could tell that this person is more likely leftist because she says trigger warning. What is a trigger warning? This is so stupid. This is the reason why this is making me think that she voted to the leftists, and the leftists have been very pro soft on crime.
Just watch if you're interested, but it's definitely not cute. So this is right before it all happened, so I thankfully helped me up and asked if I was okay, and then you can see the man was asking if I was okay, and then later on he helped me call the police. I just really want to emphasize how not okay this is. I am a student at NYU. I should not be scared to be walking the street to go to my 9:30 a.m. class. These people are disgusting and they should not be able to be walking around the street freely targeting girls and doing this, because I heard that this guy did this a month ago. That is not okay. We need to get these people. That's not okay. I'm honestly still in shock, but I'm more enraged that things like this are able to happen in this city, and we really need to do something about it because this is unacceptable. This just shows that you really need to reflect on who you're voting for and supporting right now, because New York needs help and we're just not getting the help we need, and this is crazy.
Yeah, so I hate to break to you, Amelia, but your trigger warning kind of shows that you voted for the people that wanted this. I agree with you on the sense of the fact that yeah, these people need to be locked up, they need to be jailed and not sing out light outside the day again. But let's find out in a couple of days, maybe even a week or so, that this guy has been arrested multiple times and let out of jail. And Amelia, I would love to. I'll probably contact this person as well because I would love to have you come onto my channel with the X amount of people that are on here, and I would love for you to talk to me on actual live and say and tell me who you actually voted for. Because if you voted for Mandani or any of these people have actively voted for these people to be released. They have been soft on crime. It doesn't matter. If you vote for the wrong people, it doesn't matter. And this is the thing here. Now, I don't know what this woman has voted for, right? This young woman has voted for. I don't know what she has voted for. But trigger warning, yeah, I don't do that on my channel. I show it to you raw. I give you to what I best I can. That is allowed on YouTube. And I don't put a trigger warning here because that's just stupid. It's just far leftist stupid talk. And when you say that, it makes me think that you voted for some type of Democrat or what have you, and you are going to have to face the reality of, well, guess what? Of all that stuff that's been happening here. So again, I don't know what else to tell you. So we're going to go here, and I have obviously these things being broken down. So we have this here. How many women voted for soft on crime policies versus women not voting for soft on crime policies? So it says here, we had approximately 43.6 million women voted for a candidate associated with soft on crime policies, elite Kamala Harris and the Democratic platform, which has been criticized by opponents as lenient on criminal justice issues. Yes, compared to approximately 37 women who voted for candidates associated with tough on crime policies, which is, Donald Trump and the Republican platform. This is based on 2024 U.S. presidential election exit polls showing women comprising 53% of the electorate, with 53% of women voting for supporting Harris and 45% supporting Trump. The remaining 2% went to third-party candidates. So, yeah, ladies, I hate to break it to you, but you're the cause of all this. You did this. You voted for people like this. So again, you are the ones that are helping crime. I know. It's very hard for you guys to understand this concept. I understand that it's a shocking revelation for you, but you caused this man to be out on the streets, and you caused this man to commit crimes against you and assault you, etc. Because this is what you've allowed. I hate to break it to you, but that's just the reality. It's hard to swallow. I understand. It's hard to understand. It's hard to swallow, but eventually we'll get to that point to where reality will hit you. And that is what's happening here. And you can't say otherwise because Kamala Harris was going to be low on crime, and you're in a very heavy Democratic state, and this is happening to you, and you voted for it. So let that be perfectly bloody clear. Then I asked how many women voted for Zohran Mamdani versus ones who didn't vote for him. And it says the exact number of women who voted for Zohran Mamdani versus those who did not in the 2025 New York mayor election is not publicly available. However, as official votes counts do not include breakdowns by gender, and I suppose do not provide a complete overall gender-specific support rate. However, exit polls show that Mamdani had a strong support for younger women, receiving 84% of the vote from women aged 18 to 29 and 65% from women aged 30 to 35. Overall, Mamdani won the 50.4% of the total vote, so women were a key demographic in his victory. Now, ladies, I hate to break it to you, but you voted for this guy, right? You are the sole reason why. Well, let's go here. Let's just put it in reality. What I would put in here. So let's do Zoran Mamdani on crime, and then we go search this here. I might have to actually do this on I might also have to do this on Twitter because, or X rather, because it's kind of hard to get the full thing here. But I could do it on there, but it's going to take time, and I don't want to waste a lot of people's time. So this is what Zoran Madami has said about violence is an artificial construct. This is what he has said here.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree. We have
So, Amelia Lewis, if you voted for this person, again, I don't know who you voted for, and ladies too, if you voted for this person, he literally said that violence is an artificial construct. So, if we go to here, what this would mean, or what have you, the claim that violence is an artificial construct suggests that violence isn't a purely natural or inventable part of human behavior, but rather a social and political one. This perspective argues that the way societies define, categorize, and respond to violence is shaped by power structures and can be inconsistent. For example, one might argue that the term violence is used selectively, labeling certain actions as violent, while overlooking others that cause similar harm, like a system that results in deaths due to policy decisions such as cash bail. So, again, what that means, ladies, is that they can say that, like, oh, if your government says, like, oh, well, essaying women, that's a artificial construct. That won't be labeled as crime. Well, guess what, Amelia? That means if Zoran is in place, he can say that your assault that you had, that you felt so violated for it and you felt attacked, well, that's an artificial construct. That's not really a reality. That's not really a crime. You see where I'm going with this here, ladies? You have caused this. You are the ones that have caused the crime to be this way, and you are the ones that voted for this. And again, we have this here where we need to recognize the suicide bomber first and foremost as a category of soldier. Suicide bombing needs to be understood as a feature of modern political violence rather than stigmatized as a mark of barbarism. And this is what Zoran Madani says. So I don't know what else to tell you. And we can say here, Zoran Madani on police as well, and I'll wrap this up here because you said that you wanted police, right? And that's kind of what we have here. So again, let's go with this here, what Zoran Madani had to say about police and a few stuff, and I'll wrap it up.
The importance for me of international solidarity is that it takes me out of the American political landscape and reminds me just how tame some of the things are that I'm actually calling for. True. And it reminds me of the necessity of grounding ourselves in the struggles as opposed to the fights around the struggles. For anyone to care about these issues, we have to make them hyper-local. We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. We're in a country where those connections abound, especially in New York City. You have so many opportunities to make clear the ways in which that struggle over there is tied to capital's interest over here.
Yeah, and he's saying that the boot of the NYPD is on your neck has been laced by the IDF, which I don't know what that is supposed to mean here. I'm not a huge fan of the Jews either, or Israel, but again, and he says here, so again, Amelia Lewis, you said that you wanted to go to the police, right? Well, this is what this man has said here over 50 times, that he wants to defund the police.
My statements in 2020 were ones made amidst a frustration that many New Yorkers held at the murder of George Floyd and the inability to deliver on what Eric Adams, of all people, described
as the right for all of us to be able to enjoy safety and justice, that we need not choose between the two. I know that Governor Cuomo is far more comfortable in the past, whether it be his own or whether it be in attacking me for tweets made before I was even an assembly member. What I have said time and time again is the campaign that I am leading, the campaign that I am asking New Yorkers to consider, is one that has been clear on its public safety approach. It's one that speaks about a desire to work with police officers. My statements in 20.
This is what he says, the desire to work for police officers and stuff like that. And where we're going to go with this as well, what have you, and we could do this here as well. We could do this here to say, Zohran Mamdani, defund the police. And so around 2020, Mamdani was a vocal proponent of defund the police, making repeated calls to slash the NYPD's budget and even defund the NYPD on social media platforms like X. These statements were made in the context of widespread protests following the murder of George Floyd. But recently, Mamdani has distanced himself from these statements, calling them clearly out of step with his current views, and now states he is not running to defund the police. So I want you women to understand here that you caused this. You're the ones that are allowing violence to run rampant in your country and in your state. You voted for people like this, so you only have yourselves to blame. And I'm not going to sit here and have you guys gaslight me and say like, oh, well, that's not true. That's not what's happening. That's ridiculous. It's like, no, it's happening. You guys did it. You voted for it. You have the majority of you voted for Kamala Harris that wanted to be soft on crime, and then overwhelmingly you women voted for Mamdani for soft on crime policies. So miss me with that BS. You ladies are the cause of all the crime that's happening in the U.S. And it's time for you guys to take a real good mirror. I'm not going to feel very much sympathy for you until you women in mass droves start voting for people that don't want to hurt you, that don't want to, that actually want to put these people behind bars and keep you safe. But the more that you vote for people that want to keep you, that want to harm you, that want to keep these animals outside to harm you, you are on your own. This is your cause. And until you start realizing that and realizing that your vote is the ones that are causing you harm, I don't have no sympathy for you. Now, I don't want Amelia Lewis to get attacked. I don't. But there's nothing I can do if she votes for the people that wants to cause her harm. Hate to break it to you, that's just a reality. So that's it for the video, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care, my friends.